This is the video that's going to go with our notes, parallel lines and transversals, okay? So all of our diagrams in this particular type of problem are going to have parallel lines. Remember, parallel lines look like railroad tracks. They're always the same distance apart and they'll never intersect each other, okay? And the transversal is that line that goes across the parallel lines, okay? What's going to happen in these particular problems is you're going to be told the measurement of one of your angles, just like here in number 1, I'm told this angle is 118 degrees. Okay? Then I'm going to have to find the other angles measurements. Now, I want us to just focus on this little X right here. Okay? This is going back to 7th grade. Okay, we know that angle B and 118 are going to have to add up to 180 because they make that straight angle right there, or that straight line. Okay, so if I want to find out what angle B is, all I've got to do is 180 minus the 118. Okay, so if I subtract those two numbers, I'm going to get 62. So what does that tell me? That tells me this angle right here is 62 degrees. Okay? Now, I'm going to use some of the thought process we used before in 7th grade. We know right here that angle F and 118 are the exact same measurement because they are vertical angles. Okay, and they look like they are. See that big obtuse angle right here and this obtuse angle? Just like that. Now look at G. G, I know, is vertical to the 62, or angle B. So I know that G has to be 62 degrees. Okay, so in 7th grade, we learned how to use those facts of the ones next door neighbors add up to 180, and the ones that are cross or opposite each other are equal. Well, look at this X right here. This is almost like a copy and paste. Okay, this intersection right here of these 4 angles are a duplicate of these 4 angles. Okay, so I should know then that angle I right here is also going to be 118 degrees. Okay, well, if that's true, then angle H right over here beside it is going to be 62 degrees. Well, K down here has got to be 118 because it's vertical again. And right here, M is the same as H, so that's 62. Okay. Now, that's a lot of thinking. That really is a lot of thinking, but I want to show you something that actually will make sense. Look for other patterns in the solution. Okay? I want you to start right here, and I want you to go around the circle and look at the pattern in the measurements. 118, 62, 118, 62, 118, 62, 118, 62, 118. Even if I go back in the opposite direction, it's the same thing. Start with 118, 62, 118, 62, 118, 62, 118, 62. Do you see that alternating pattern? Okay, that pattern always works when you have parallel lines. And if you remember that pattern, you can do these problems really quickly. Okay, now let's go right over here and let's fill in our values. Now we know the little M in front of the angle sign means measurement. So we would read this as measurement of angle B. Well, angle B is right here, and that is 62 degrees. Right here, just going to the side right here, is the measure of angle F. Well, right here is angle F, and that's 118 degrees. You remember to use your degree symbols? Now, measure of angle G. Well, that's right here, and that's 62. Right here, measure of angle H. Well, that's down here on this bottom little cross, and that's 62 also. I, which is right next door to it, that's 118. Angle K down here on the bottom is 118. And then angle M is 62. And I'm done. Okay. So again, if you just remember that these next door neighbors, these adjacent angles add up to 180, so you can just subtract it to find your second angle measurement, then take your two measurements and alternate them going around your picture. Okay, pause your video and copy this down, and then we'll go to problem number 2. Now, if you look at number 2, it is almost the same problem right here. The only difference is this line is slanted this way, where the other one was slanted the other way. But it's still the same problem. What you're going to do is you're going to find the angle you know right here. Okay. I know that little bitty obtuse angle right there is 38 degrees. So to find all my other angles, the first thing I'm going to have to do is find the obtuse measurement. Okay, so what am I going to do over here? 180 minus 38. And I'm going to do my little math right there, and it's going to tell me 142. So what is that telling me? Now let's think about that. That means in my diagram, every acute angle is going to be 38. Every obtuse angle is going to be 142. Well, if I know that, can I run around the picture and fill in my numbers? Absolutely. Now I can look at it and ask myself, is it acute or is it obtuse? But I'm also going to remember that I have an alternating pattern that I can use. So I'm going to go around just like the clocks on a hand. Okay, so here is 38 degrees. The next angle right here is going to be the 142. What's right here? Alternating my numbers, 38. Right above it, 142. Keep going up, 38. 142. 38. 142, and I'm back at 38. So did you see how I just, once I got those two numbers, I just ran around and wrote them in alternating till I got back to the beginning. Now that I have all this written into my diagram, I'm going to come over here and start figuring out where they're at. So I have right here the measure of angle R, which is right up here, and that's 142. Put my little degree symbol right there. Now it's going to ask me for angle, measurement of angle S right here. Well, S right here is 38. I have next angle Q. Well, where's my Q? It's right here, and that's also 38. Then let's see right here, angle T. That's right here, and that's 142. Now, measure of angle X. That's right here. I almost wrote over top of it, but I see it right there. It's 142. The measure of angle Y, which is right down here, that's 38. And then the measure of angle Z right here is 142. Again, pause your video if you need to and finish copying this down, and then we'll go to example 3. All right, example 3, look how it's different. This time, instead of having my parallel lines horizontal like I did on the first two, my parallel lines are vertical, but that doesn't matter. I have parallel lines. That's all that matters, okay? So looking at number 3 right here. What do I know? I know this angle right here is 67 degrees. So how am I going to find my obtuse angle right here? 180 minus 67, just like that. And it's going to give me 113. That means the two numbers that I'm going to use in my alternating pattern is 67 degrees and 113 degrees. Now, I'm just going to tilt my paper a little bit sideways so I can write in here a little bit sideways so it's easy to read. Okay? If I go around this way, and again, it doesn't matter which direction I go in as long as I go in a circle. This is 67, so this is 113. This is 67. This is 113. Over now, coming over this side, working my way back around, 67, 113, 67, and 113. And I'm back at 67. Okay? Now, let's turn this, rotate this a little bit. Now, let's go ahead and fill in what we know. Angle A. Angle A is going to be what? Where's angle A in our picture? Okay, so angle A right up here is going to be 113 degrees. Now, angle B, which is right over here, is also 113 degrees. Angle D, right here. Angle D is going to be 67 degrees. Angle H, right here below D, is going to be 113 degrees. Angle P right here, 113 degrees. Angle G, let's find our G right there, that's 67 degrees. And angle S is also 67 degrees. Okay, now pause your video if you need to, finish copying down number 3, and then we'll go to number 4. Now, number 4 looks more challenging because it has 3 parallel lines, but that's okay. Get this centered here a little bit. It's still the same process, just a couple more angles in there. I'm told right up here I have 72 degrees, right? Okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to do 180 minus 72, which is 108. Now, if that's true, let's run around our picture and take care of business here. So 72, 108, 72, 108, 72, 108, 72, 108, 72, 108, 72, 108, and I'm back at 72. So again, even though I had more than 2 parallel lines, I still ran around the circle alternating my numbers. Okay, now let's take a look. Let's fill in over here. The measurement of angle M is 108 degrees. Right here's M. The measure of angle measure of angle E, which right here is 108. Now go down on the next row. The measure of angle A, which is right over here, is 72. The measure of angle S, which is right here, that's 72. The measurement of angle U right here is 108. The measure of angle R, which is right here, 108. The measure of angle I right here is 72. The measure of angle N down here on this bottom little cross, there's 72. Measure of angle G right up here is 108. Measure of angle V down here on the bottom row is 108. And W is the last angle, and that's 72. Now pause your video, get this copied down, make sure this gets into your interactive notebook, and then you can go to Canvas and find your assignment to work on.